What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with Motor City Lions Talk, doing a reaction to Lions versus Cardinals. Detroit Lions beat the Cardinals 35-23 on the arm of Matthew Stafford and Kenny Galladay. Early on, it was very sloppy. With the new punter, I didn't even know Sam Martin was injured. The new punter pulling to Michigan. What a Michigan punter did and running from the kick returners, Agnew running out, when he should have took a knee in the end zone, Dwayne Washington doing the same thing. It was a mess early on, but the bright spot early on was the defense. I mean, Anthony Zettel, even before DJ Humphries went out for the Cardinals, which was their left tackle, Anthony Zettel was a man amongst boys, Really, it looks like a man amongst babies. His pass rush was nasty. Cornelius Washington pass rush was nasty. Nada was solid. A'Shawn Robinson caused the fumble, I believe. The front four, whoever was rotating in, it was just like, it's like a system the Lions have. You hear people talking about Tom Brady in a Patriot way. When it comes to the front four of the Lions, forever, since going back to Corey Williams and Shawn Rogers, you can go back to Luther Ellis as well, and then Robert Porcher and those guys. Hopefully I got Luther Ellis' name right. Been a while, but go back to them. Like, we always able to develop, linemen, and it's no different. Ziggy didn't have the biggest day today, but his impact on the line, everybody else picked him up. The Cardinals was probably paying attention to him, and he was pressuring. On the right side, he was doing his thing, and he gotta just get in the condition. He didn't do training camp, so once he start contributing, it's gonna make everybody else that much better on that front line. Jerry Davis done well today. The linebackers, Tavon Wilson did excellent today. Glover Quinn did good today. Shout out to Quadre Diggs. I didn't think he can play like that. He locked down Larry Fitzgerald pretty good today. Nevin Lawson had a one questionable PI call, in my opinion. The second one was warranted. He did grab the guy's arm, but he did well today. DJ Hayden did well today. Darius Slay gave up a little out route, which was, I understand why he gave up the out route, because Palmer was on the left hash. He threw an out route to the right hash, and I didn't think an old man can get it there just like Slay didn't. So other than that, Slay played well. The defense was a surprise, and Terrell Austin is gonna get a head coaching job. I know he was overlooked. This offseason, and then last offseason he was overlooked. That one offseason he almost got the Atlanta Falcons job. He probably would have ran the ball and the Falcons made a run, won the Super Bowl behind him, but he's a fantastic coordinator. And Jim Bob Cooter was the dunce of the day. He was the duck of the day early on. I thought Joe Lombardi was calling the calls again, calling the play calls on offense again. But he got it together. For some reason the Lions just continued to pound the rock on first down. It was so predictable that the Arizona Cardinals knew, but it was an overplay. It was an underplay for the overplay, because then they play action early downs, and they got the Kenny Galladay second touchdown. He started getting into a groove. Whatever reason it was, whatever they was trying to make a vocal point of running the ball, they could not. For some reason, they wouldn't mix it in. They just do it on first down. Then they start play actioning off of it, and it started to work for them. So they have to really. The thing I took away from this is, the coaching really has to settle down early. They had to settle the players down on offense early, settle them down, orchestrate those first 5 to 15 to 20 plays for the first drive, because it seems like they didn't really have, they didn't have a direction early on in this game, or at least a direction that worked. And another thing, they need to get Washington running the ball if that's going to be your big back. He runs a little bit too high sometimes. He doesn't let the game slow down to him. Let the game slow down where he could pick his holes. They really got to work with him, because he has a lot of potential as well to be a good running back. Because Abdullah is just, for me, man, my liking, the offensive line was making waves for him today, but he's just not, big enough or durable enough to run in between the tackles. Everything he runs is right off the left tackle's right the right tackle's left hip, inside the tackles. Or it's to the outside. They need to get somebody that can go north and south, but it's really not a good test to know today about your running game, so I'm really not going to butcher them for that because Arizona has a strong front seven, even with losing Calais Campbell. But also, the defense did excellent today by stopping David Johnson. David Johnson, it was number one in damn near every fantasy draft. They stopped him cold turkey today. Carson Palmer, he usually can look to dink and dunk to David Johnson and hand it off to him. They eliminated that today. They eliminated David Johnson and made Carson Palmer beat him, and he couldn't beat him. And the Lions, they looking up and up, man. We see how I think they play the Giants next week. Don't quote me on that. We see how the Giants look. Odell Beckham is still hurt. They playing the Cowboys Sunday Night Football tonight. We'll see how that goes. And we'll talk about that, next week. But also, the special teams has to improve. Matt Prater, what he hit like a 54, 55, 58 yarder or something like that. So hopefully Jake Rudock can get some more practice at catching the snap and holding it down, because we did leave with a point, or is that an extra point on the scoreboard, and we gotta eliminate these stupid plays. It wasn't even penalties today. It was the stupid plays, like running out the end zone when you should have took a knee. The punter, just dumb plays that's beating ourselves that we really could have won, 40-50, and the play calling has to get better. They got to get them the first 5 to 15, 20 plays of the game down pat, because these refs not going to give us nothing. It was a couple questionable calls I seen today on both sides, but we got to take what's ours. And, a lot of people was up in arms, but the Lions didn't let it come down to a last drive today. Even though in my mind, I was like, oh, it's probably going to be another, fourth quarter comeback, potentially for Matthew Stafford. He just started letting it rip, man. And I think running the ball, what they want to do is run the ball to keep the defense honest, but I think they need to mix it up on first and second down. And even some third downs thinking about running it. But it kept the defense honest to the run, because they knew Abdullah can bust it out at any play. They knew Reddick could run, or he can break out to the backfield and run a Texas route and all types of stuff. So they really keep him on his toes. If the Lions can get the ability to run the ball, like really in between the tackles, they're going to be that much dangerous going into, weeks before. And, Stafford showed good accuracy with the ball today. We know Golden Tate hurt his finger, and a lot of people were talking about, hope his finger not broke. A lot of receivers, from my experience playing, high school all the way to whatever, a lot of receivers have played with broken fingers. Their fingers are crooked and stuff of that nature. And, it's just part of the game. You just charge it to the game. Ebron caught a couple passes, without a training camp. I think he's very vital to this Lions team as well, controlling the middle of the field. And I'm going to say the best for last. Kenny Galladay, 2 touchdowns, the fade into the left side of the end zone, and then the deep pass over Bethel and Patrick Peterson, one of the better corners in the league, crying about it. And, you got to know where he is at all times. And I made a mistake not drafting him today on my FanDuel account. But he was questionable. I didn't know if he was going to play, but he played, and he showed out, man. He showed out. He's another weapon. Marvin Jones caught a touchdown. I told you guys I didn't know who Patrick Peterson was going to guard. He chose to guard Jones because Jones doesn't play the slot. And usually most outside corners don't like to play the slot because it's a different game in there. It's more run support. Receivers go right and left. So Golden Tate was the one that had the good game, and Kenny Galladay had the big game. And look forward to breaking down the game next week. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We gone.